Yeah, tools are an interesting one. The reason why I ask this question is because I've seen a lot of non-SEOs get into the realm of SEO via tools, which on one hand is a great thing, right? So they would use Screaming Frog, they would use SEMrush, Ahrefs, etc. And I find that to be a double-edged sword in some cases, because something like Screaming Frog, someone knowing how to crawl a site and find issues on it, I think is great. A non-SEO knowing how to do that. But there is this risk that they consider data or tools from data, or data from tools, without applying insights from the information they gather, and they won't necessarily have that SEO knowledge. So, for example, you say to a client, canonicals are important for your sites, right? Just in passing, and they take that information, they run a crawl, and they see a page doesn't have canonicals. Let's say 5 pages don't have any canonicals at all, and they say, okay, we're bad in this area for these 5 pages. You look at the 5 pages and they're like, I don't know, privacy policy, terms and condition type of pages, stuff that don't have much value, and that understanding isn't necessarily there. And I'm seeing it with some agencies as well, where they provide this information to clients, and the clients look at this data set and say, oh, we're quite bad at our SEO, we need to do something about it. But there isn't this knowledge in place for the clients to understand. So let's say, going back to a head of SEO, a head of digital, for example, what can they expect from an SEO, or what should they look out from let's say, a report from an SEO, which will show the SEO's edge within the industry, and have confidence in the information?
Yeah. This is quite interesting because I'm involved as a member of various kind of SEO communities, as I'm sure you are, and I'm in a couple of freelancer communities like Slack groups and things like that. And in one of them, in the SEO channel, someone was saying, I'm really fed up with clients sort of being given SEO work that they're paying a lot of money for, and essentially it's just a SEMrush report that hasn't even been reskinned or anything. It's just like it's just like the PDF export, and that's it. And there's no nuance, there's no analysis, there's no kind of actual how this applies to you. Exactly as you're saying, it's this idea of getting them out. And while I understand why tools do this, what I find frustrating sometimes is that, not frustrating, I find frustrating on behalf of clients, is they go, oh, I've run this tool, and I'm just going to use SEMrush as an example, not to pick on them at all, but because it's not necessarily negative, but SEMrush has crawled my website and it's given me a health score of 58%. And I'm like, yeah, 58% out of what? I mean, how are you measuring that? It's just an arbitrary number of how many tick boxes you've done. There's no scaling of these things like in real life. They have to do something like that to try and help you show when you're improving. It's, basically you've got to take that as a baseline, not as a, oh shoot, it's so terrible. Exactly as you were saying. So when you're dealing with somebody like a head of digital, someone who doesn't deliver this work but knows it's an important channel and they want to improve it, what they should be looking for from an SEO, whether it's conversation like we're having now, or whether it's a report, or whether it's guidance in an email or other documentation, is they should be looking for exactly that guidance. They should be looking for someone to actually turn this data, and my goodness, SEO is full of data. You can get data very, very quickly. You get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But it's knowing what to do with it. It's the practical application, isn't it? It's doing that. And I think it's this idea of going, okay, you can, to go back to the previous example, you can absolutely do a crawl with SEMrush. You and I would do some tweaking of that crawl using the advanced bits, to only crawl certain bits, to do some bits, maybe to pull in Search Console data, give us extra context, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're taking that report and it goes, they've given you a score of 58. Don't worry about that. The important thing is the things it's identified in here. And that we've also identified by looking in Search Console and so on. And going, okay, here's what you should do next. You are talking to me because you're worried about X, Y, and Z. And let's take the most basic example. We've been hired just to improve traffic. We just want we want to improve our SEO, get more traffic. And we're starting with an overview of our health of our site, improving that, and then building from there. Okay, great. Fundamental kind of SEO project, if you will. Take that report, 58% score from SEMrush. What does that actually mean? Well, in your case, with my experience of this, and I will explain what some of these things and why they might be a problem, and I'll say you should be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's your next steps. It's taking that data and translating it and turning it into something that you understand, or again, speaking to the higher ups who won't be delivering the work, you're going to be giving them a slightly different synopsis to the members of the team you're speaking to, who you speak with on a daily basis to actually deliver the stuff. So you're giving them that summary of a few slides. You're not giving them the whole report or PDF. You're giving them a few slides which you can go through on a call or in person or even deliver as a document, and you can say, here's the key highlights, here's what you're seeing, here's what that means for you in terms of potential performance, here's what we think will actually happen if we improve these. If we spend the money and the time on improving these bits here. And here's the quick summary of top line group thematic things that we're going to work on, as I'm going to work on with your marketing team to put this in place. That's if I'm speaking, like I say, like a head of digital, sort of higher up kind of person. And if I was then doing the same thing for a marketing team, I might then go into a bit more detail and say, we're going to do 1, we're going to do 2, we're going to do 3, we're going to do 4, again, grouping them by kind of thing and go through there. That's what I think someone higher up should be looking for, is someone who can take that data and turn it into a map of improvements, a series of ideas. Someone can show you why it might be an issue, what improvement would mean for you, what you'll get out of it, and then how we're going to go about it and what level of detail is appropriate.